We are now joined by SNY contributor John Harper. And Harp, why does it appear that Sandy Alderson and Steve Cohen are going down the exact same road as last year when the Mets ended up with Jared Porter?
Well, Eamon, they are pretty much going down that road, although the names are a little bit different here. I don't blame them. They shot high for guys that you know have established track records in the business with Billy Beane and Theo Epstein and David Stearns. It was just a matter of permission with David Stearns, but they're not getting any of them, it appears, for sure. So now they're going to have to, I guess, lower their sights a little bit, you'd say. But there's a lot of qualified executives out there, a lot of smart executives that you got to find the right one, obviously. And remember last year, even though they didn't get the people they wanted at the top of their list, they still wound up, at the time, Jared Porter was actually widely praised as the guy they hired. Turned out to be a terrible hire because of his personal behavior, and we found out about that. But there are a lot of people out there that you can get. You just, they have to figure out who it is and get the right one.
Now, there were reports on Sunday that Mike Schilt will interview for the Padres manager job. Whether he's someone the Mets would have been interested or not, are the Mets now behind the 8 ball in their search for a manager by still having to fill the front office positions?
Yeah, a little bit. I think you can make that case. There aren't a lot of jobs open in baseball now for managers, but there are enough that you can make that case that they should get the guy they want. And I do. There's some speculation talking to people today that Sandy Alderson, that he might be in a position where he would go ahead and hire somebody if it was kind of a slam dunk hire. And I think Bob Melvin kind of qualifies as that guy just because he fits in so many different ways. He hits all the boxes, or checks all the boxes, so to speak. So I don't know if that's the case, but I could see that maybe happen if they feel like they're getting too far behind in terms of the guy they really want.
All right. Speaking of Bob Melvin, you wrote a column on SNY.TV about the availability and possibility of bringing him east. There was some thought that he and Beane could be a package deal, but what would it take the Mets to get him to Queens all by himself?
Yeah, that's the key question. Obviously, it would take some kind of compensation. It's just a matter of we don't know for sure how much the A's value him. We know, the A's were always that organization. Remember going back to Moneyball and Art Howe, that famously kind of didn't value managers that much and kind of changed the way the industry looked at managers in some ways. But Melvin's been there a long time. He is highly regarded. Supposedly he has a great relationship with Billy Beane. But at the same time, I think he's one of the most highly paid managers in baseball. Reportedly about $3.5 million a year, under contract just for this as an option year for 2022. So it's a matter of the owner maybe sees a way to save money there. John Fisher's the owner, and it might also depend on the personal relationships they have there, whether they'd be willing to let him go. But in any case, I think it would take a top prospect, not a very top of the rung of the ladder type of prospect, but maybe a Khalil Lee, an outfielder, maybe even a Vientos, who's pretty highly regarded. But you're not getting, obviously, we're not talking about Alvarez, Beatty, those type of guys. But I think it would probably take somebody of value to get him.
And the way Jerry Blevins talked about Melvin in your column, maybe Blevins will be the next Mets pitching coach if Melvin comes here. John Harper, we always appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us here on Geico Sports Night.
Thanks, Eamon.